Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the channel, my friends of grade 7. Today we're going through your unit 1 of your class book, which is Happy Holidays. We will start with 1. Listen and choose. Look at these children from the IKC. They are talking about how long their summer holidays are. Listen and choose how long the holidays are for each country. Are you ready? Listen carefully. 1. Roberto. In Italy, we have 12 weeks for our summer holidays. 2. Susie. In England, we have 6 weeks for our summer holiday. 3. Petra. In Russia, we have 12 weeks for our summer holiday. 4. Tariq. In Jordan, we have 10 weeks for our summer holidays. Well done. Now what about in Oman? How long are the summer holidays? I will leave this answer for you. Next is listen and match. What did you do in the holiday? So let's read together. 1. Go to the beach. 2. Take photographs. 3. Play football. 4. Help at home. 5. Swim with your friends. 6. Play computer games. 7. Visit your aunt. 8. Ride your bike. Great. Now 2. Ask and answer. Practice with your friend. For example, ask them, did you help at home? Yes, I did. Did you ride your bike? No, I didn't. Now moving on to listen and choose. Can you remember where some of the IKC children were going to go for their summer holidays? Talk to your friends and see what you can remember. Now listen to David talking to a friend about his summer holiday and answer these questions. Are you ready? Listen carefully. Hello. Hi, David. It's Brian. Oh, hi, Brian. How are you? I'm great, thanks. How about you? Fine, thanks. I've just got back from my holiday. All right. How was your holiday? It was fantastic. Where did you go this year? I went to Jordan. Wow, that must have been great. Oh, yeah, it was. Who did you stay with? I stayed with my friend Tariq and his family. That must have been nice. Yes, it was. His family were really kind to me. What places did you visit? I visited Petra. It was amazing. Oh, wow. That must have been great. Yeah, it was. We spent 2 days there and walked everywhere. Well done. Now 2. Read and match. Look at the 4 postcards and messages from the IKC children on page 5, which we'll do right now. Match each messages to a picture. So we have A, B, C, and D. Let's do this one together. But before we solve it, don't forget to do a role play. Imagine that you are one of the IKC children who wrote one of the postcard on this page. Your friend will ask you the questions at the bottom of this page to help them find out about your holiday. Answer your friend's question using the information on the postcard. When your friend has asked you all their questions and guessed who you are, change roles. So these are the questions. How was your summer holiday? Where did you go? How did you travel? Who did you stay with? What places did you visit? And what was the weather like? Now let's solve the previous activity. We will match the A, B, C, D to the pictures. Let's read the first one. Dear Paul, Australia was fantastic. I traveled there by plane. It took more than 20 hours. I was so tired when I arrived. I stayed with David and his family. They were great fun. We visited lots of different places, but my favorite place was Ayers Rock. It's amazing. There are lots of different types of food in Australia, but I ate lots of beef burgers and chips. The weather was really hot. It was just like Jordan. Take care, Tariq. Now the second one. Dear Kate, I had a great time in China. I traveled there by plane. It took 14 hours to fly there. I stayed with Mei Ling and her family. It was great fun. I went to see the Great Wall of China. It was amazing. I ate lots of exciting Chinese food, especially dim sum. The weather was very nice. It wasn't too hot. Love, Randa. And now the third one. Dear Ahmed, I had a great time in Italy. I traveled there by plane. I stayed with Roberto and his family. It was fantastic. They were so nice to me. Roberto and I went to see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's an amazing building that looks as if it's going to fall over. I ate lots and lots of pizza. The weather was very hot, but not as hot as Iran. See you soon, Abbas. And the last one.
Dear Maha, Russia was great. I traveled there by plane. It took a long time. I stayed with Petra and her family. It was really nice. We visited lots of places in Moscow, but my favorite place was Red Square. It's really beautiful. I didn't like a lot of the food, but I loved something called borщ, a soup made from beetroot. It was delicious. I thought the weather was quite cold, but Petra thought it was hot. I had a great time and would love to go back again. Bye for now, Rose.
Next, read and match. Look at these postcards from some of the IKC children who went on a holiday. They sent postcards to their friends. Read the messages and match the pictures on the front of each postcard to the messages on the back. So let's read together A. Hello Alia, I'm on holiday in India with my aunt and uncle. My uncle works in India, so my aunt wanted to visit and brought me too. Last week we traveled to the north of India to visit the Taj Mahal. It's really beautiful building. The weather was very bad. It rained all week. Yesterday we went to a great restaurant and I ate some fantastic Indian food. It was really hot and spicy. I loved it, but my aunt drank lots of water because it was so hot. See you soon, Muna. Now let's read B. Dear Mom, I'm having a wonderful time in Oman. Yesterday I went to the fun fair in Muscat. It was great. I went with my friend Ali. It was very hot. Last week I visited Jibreen Fort, which was fantastic. When we drove back from Jibreen, we saw lots of camels and goats. It was amazing. This morning I went to the souk in Muscat and bought some presents. I bought lots of dates. I also bought Tom a cap that Omani boys wear. I've already got one. Ali gave it to me. Lots of love, Peter. And now let's read C. Dear Hassan, Hola from sunny Mexico. Hola means hello in Spanish. I'm on holiday with my mom and dad. I'm having a great time. Last week we went to see the pyramids in the south of Mexico. It was fantastic. Yesterday I went shopping with my mom and bought some presents. I bought my sister something called a poncho. It's like a cloak, but it's one piece of material that you put your head through. You wear it to keep warm. I brought my granddad a hat called a sombrero. It's huge. It's a big hat made from straw. People wear them to keep the sun off their heads. Take care, Jack. And now let's read the final one, D. Hi Marta, I'm having a great time in New Zealand. Yesterday I went skiing. I was so cold. It snowed all day. Last week I visited Mount Cook and saw a glacier, which is a river made of ice. Then I went to see the fjords in the South Island. We went out in boats and saw some seals. They were fantastic. I visited my uncle's farm on the South Island last week. It was great. He's got 4,000 sheep. I ate a lot of lamb. Bye for now, Penny. Well done, my friends. Now moving back to number 2, which was read and answer. Read these questions and then quickly read the messages on the postcards and find the answers. So we have 5 questions here. All we have to do is get back to the postcards and answer these questions. 1. Where did Peter go for her summer holiday? 2. Who did Mona stay with on her holiday? 3. What was the weather like in New Zealand? 4. Who bought a sombrero for their granddad? And 5. What places did Mona visit in India? Let's view the answers together in 3, 2, 1. Great. The answer for 1, Peter went to Oman, Muscat. 2, Mona stayed with her uncle and aunt. 3, the weather was cold and it was snowing. 4, Jack was the one brought sombrero for their granddad. And 5, Mona visited in India Taj Mahal and restaurants. Don't forget also to make a list of all the countries in the units. Then write the names of some of the famous places in each country. For example, India, Taj Mahal, and so on. Leave this one for your exercise book. Next is 3. Read, think, and sort. Read the postcards again. Find these sentences and match each one with one of the topics in the stamp. So we have sentences here from 1 to 8, and in the stamp we have clothes, famous places or buildings, food, and the weather. All we have to do is read these sentences and look in the stamp which topic matches the sentence. I will give you time to solve this activity alone. Are you ready? Excellent. Now let's read together the story of The Box and the Barbecue. I'm very excited to read this one with you. When I was on holiday in England, I went to visit my friend Paul. His family was having a barbecue and I was invited. When I arrived, everybody was very busy. Paul's dad was cooking sausages on the barbecue and his granddad was planting some flowers in the garden. His mom was putting a cloth on the garden table and his grandma was playing with his little sister Emma. Paul's brother Jack was playing with the baby. Paul and I sat down to have a glass of orange juice. We were talking about the places we were going to visit the next day when suddenly we saw a box in the garden start to move towards us. Paul pointed to the box and yelled, "Look, that box is moving all by itself." Everyone stopped what they were doing and stared at the box. Suddenly, the box moved again. The baby tried to touch the box and the box jumped backwards and then stayed very still. Paul's dad and granddad started to walk towards the box and it moved backwards again. It was very strange. Paul's mom told everyone to be quiet and then she and Paul's grandma walked slowly towards the box. They knelt on the ground a little way from the box and tried to listen for any sounds. They couldn't hear any noises coming from the box. Suddenly, Jack sneezed and the box jumped up in the air and made a noise. Paul's mom started to laugh. "What are you laughing at?" everyone asked. Paul's mom moved towards the box and quickly lifted it up. Everyone started to laugh. There was the family cat looking very frightened. Paul's dad said, "That's the box from the Paul's new roller skates. I put the box in the garage. I think the cat must have crawled into it and couldn't get out." Paul's grandma picked up the cat and started to stroke it. She said, "It's okay now. Don't be frightening." Paul said, "We were all frightened too." His mom gave him a big hug and started to stroke his hair and said, "Don't be frightened." We all started to laugh and Paul got very embarrassed. He said, "Oh, Mom, don't." Just then, Paul cried out, "Oh no!" We all turned around and saw the cat had caused a lot of problems. The sausages were burning on the barbecue. Paul's little sister was painting the tablecloth and the baby was pulling up the flowers. We didn't have a barbecue that day. Paul's mom and dad stopped the fire on the barbecue and put a clean cloth on the table. Then they put the baby in her pram and planted the flowers again. After that, we all had fish and chips. Lovely. Great, now we have 2 final missions. 1, listen and find. Listen to these 4 children talking about things that went wrong during their holidays. Listen and find the pictures that matches each child description. Listen carefully. Child 1. I was walking in the wadi with my brother when a rock fell on his leg. I ran to the nearest village to telephone for an ambulance. The doctor put 14 stitches in my brother's leg. Child 2. I was helping my mom cook food on the barbecue when I burned my finger. My mom put cold water on my finger and then she put some cream on it. I couldn't help her cook the food barbecue of my burned finger, but I enjoyed eating it. Child 3. I was riding my bike to the shops when I fell off. I broke my arm and I was in plaster PCR 6 weeks. Now I have to save money to buy a new bike. Child 4. I was fishing with my cousin when he fell in the water. He couldn't swim, so I jumped into the water and swam to him. My mom and dad took us to the hospital to make sure he was okay. Well done. Now finally to read and match. Read these 4 descriptions of what happened to the children during their holidays. Match each description with a picture. So it is just a same situation I talked about in the previous activity 1. All you have to do now is match the pictures to the paragraphs. So together, let's do the magic trick and view the answers in 3, 2, 1. Great. So here are the answers, and we have reached the end of Unit 1, and we will meet together in the Unit 2, inshallah. I hope you learned a lot of things today. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel.